There was once a boy named Arman, a 17-year-old dreamer who lived in a small, dusty town with big ambitions and an even bigger imagination. His father was a simple man, a shopkeeper who worked from sunrise till sunset just to earn enough for their family. Arman often watched him counting every coin with care, making sure not a single rupee went to waste. But Arman was different. He wasn't careless, just young, full of curiosity, and hungry for the kind of life he saw others living online. His friends wore stylish shoes, carried new phones, and went out for fun every weekend. Arman wanted that too. He believed happiness came from things, from what you could buy, not what you could earn. Then one summer morning, something unexpected happened. His father handed him a small brown envelope. Inside was his first real earning, payment for helping out at the shop for a few months. When Arman saw the money, his heart raced. It was the first time he had ever held that much cash in his life. His father smiled and said, "Use it wisely, son. Money is a friend only when you respect it." Arman nodded, but his mind was already somewhere else. As he walked down the street, that money burned in his pocket, like it was begging to be spent. His friends spotted him and shouted, "Arman, you've got cash now, let's go out." And just like that, the lesson began. One ice cream, one game, one burger, one unnecessary purchase after another. Each time, Arman felt a rush, a temporary high that made him feel rich, powerful, and free. He didn't realize that with every coin he spent, he was walking closer to a hard truth, that money doesn't last when spent without purpose. He thought he was enjoying life. But in reality, life was teaching him a lesson he would never forget. Days passed, and Arman's excitement turned into a habit. Every morning, he'd wake up thinking about what new thing he could buy, what new place he could visit, and how to make his friends cheer for him again. For a while, it worked. His friends loved being around him. Wherever he went, laughter followed, and Arman felt like the center of the world. But slowly, the money began to fade away. The thick envelope that once made him feel rich was now almost empty. He told himself, "It's okay, I'll manage somehow." But deep inside, fear started growing. One afternoon, as he opened his wallet and saw only a few crumpled notes left, reality hit him for the first time. His heart sank. Where did it all go? He whispered to himself. But it was too late, the money was gone, and so was the feeling of pride that came with it. That evening, his father called him into the living room. His tone was gentle but serious. "Arman," he said, "the shop hasn't been doing well lately. I need the money I gave you to restock tomorrow. Do you still have it?" The question felt like a knife in Arman's chest. He froze, unable to speak. His throat went dry. "Dad, I spent it," he whispered, his voice barely audible. Silence filled the room. His father didn't shout, didn't scold, he just stared at him, quietly. That silence was heavier than any anger. Arman could feel the disappointment in his father's eyes, and that hurt more than anything. The next day, Arman watched as his father humbly went to a neighbor, asking to borrow a small amount to buy supplies. Standing behind him, Arman felt like disappearing. Shame burned inside him. All because of me, he thought. That night, Arman couldn't sleep. He looked around at all the things he had bought, cheap shoes, snacks, useless gadgets. None of it made him happy anymore. It all looked empty, meaningless. He realized the painful truth, he hadn't just wasted money, he had wasted trust. The next morning, Arman walked into his father's small shop. His head was low, but his heart was firm. "Dad," he said softly, "I want to help again, not for pocket money, but because I want to make things right." His father looked at him silently, then nodded with a faint smile. That one nod was enough to ignite a fire inside Arman. From that day on, he worked tirelessly, sweeping the floor, carrying boxes, learning how to handle customers, and counting each rupee with precision. Every time he placed a coin in the cash box, it reminded him of the value of what he had once thrown away so carelessly. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, Arman began saving again. This time, it wasn't about spending or showing off. It was about earning back the trust he had lost. He avoided distractions, stopped hanging out with friends who only cared about fun, and focused on his goals. He started understanding what his father had always tried to teach, that money isn't power, it's responsibility. One evening, after months of hard work, Arman handed his father a small envelope. "What's this?" his father asked. Arman smiled and said, "It's everything I spent, and everything I learned." Inside was the exact amount of money his father had once given him. For a moment, his father just looked at him, then placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Son, money can be lost and earned again. But once you learn its value, you'll never lose it again." Those words stayed with Arman forever. From that day, he became wiser, calmer, and more mature. He started helping younger kids in his town understand the importance of saving and using money with purpose. People respected him, not because he had wealth, but because he had wisdom. Years later, when someone asked Arman what changed his life, he smiled and said, "A mistake I'll never forget."